A landmark DWI trial could have ramifications nationwide. A jury in New Jersey is deciding if a man should be held responsible for the actions of his drunk friend. Kenneth Powell is charged with manslaughter, vehicular homicide, and aggravated assault because he picked up his friend, Michael Pangle, who had been arrested for DWI, and drove him to his car. Pangle then crashed his car, killing himself and 2 other people. Prosecutors say Powell is negligent because he let his drunk friend get into a car. Responsibility and accountability are part of a local DWI case. Kristen Salome checked into the laws that will govern the trial of a Pittsford man. Kristen is live in our newsroom.
Well, Gabe, James Risch is accused of drunk driving in a crash that killed 2 people in Brighton. Legal experts tell me that going after the people who served him alcohol or let him get behind the wheel would be difficult here because the laws in New York are different than the ones in New Jersey. James Risch is accused of driving drunk and killing 2 people. Does that make him guilty of homicide? New York state law says not necessarily.
If he's drunk and he drives and kills someone, those facts alone, unfortunately, under New York law, are not enough to sustain a homicide conviction. The statutes and the courts have said there has to be more.
Prosecutors like Mike Green have to prove a defendant acted with negligence or recklessness for a homicide conviction.
There are some cases that say that even when you throw speed into that mix, that's not necessarily enough, that there have to be other factors like, how fast were you going, what were the road conditions.
That's not the case in New Jersey, where a man is being charged with manslaughter after letting his friend drive drunk. A drunk driver involved in a fatal accident in that state is automatically charged with manslaughter.
From my knowledge, this is the first time that they've tried to say that a person assisted another person in a DWI murder. Normally,
Ed Fiandach has defended thousands of drunk drivers. He and Green both believe that laws in New York make a prosecution like the one they're attempting in New Jersey a difficult one. But they say it could open the door to more civil cases.
From a civil standpoint, there are problems. Clearly, bars are liable. Clearly, this individual that drove him would have some sort of civil liability.
Now, the district attorney's office tells me there have been attempts to increase the penalties for drunk driving in cases where someone is injured or killed in New York State, and the district attorney here locally does support those attempts. Reporting live in the newsroom, Kristen Salome, News 10, NBC.